I have quite a bit of a backlog when it comes to Canadian content coming down the pike over the next couple of weeks. Not entirely sure when everything's going to shake out. Don't know if anything I'm going to be stepping over anything that's already pre-recorded. I got to figure out what I got to do with this entire backlog of stuff. But as of right now, probably the most newsworthy moment, or at least that would have been if Canada's media was being honest, Justin Trudeau was put under oath and asked a series of questions. Now he's placed under oath. Who's actually going to charge the sitting prime minister with perjury? He's not Donald Trump after all. The rules don't necessarily apply to the chosen, the godly anointed prodigal son. Like, nobody's going to hold Justin accountable for his nonsense, regardless if he put his hand on the Bible. I just want to know if it's smoked afterwards. But as you can see here, okay. Oh, what was this entire conversation all about? Well, it was about the Emergencies Act. Now, I know I have something in the can coming up for Chrystia Freeland. Okay, the deputy vice president. Sorry, that would be two steps removed. No. The deputy prime minister. Okay, the VP, the de facto VP for up here. And she was lying about a bunch of different shit, and I need not spoil that. Obviously, it's in the news. You can go. Actually, same rules apply for that one. You can go look for it. It won't be in the news or anything like that. She was very scared about a bunch of truckers that were down there. So was Trudeau, but he has different reasons behind it, okay? So Trudeau denies calling unvaccinated people a misogynist, racist while under oath. I forgot I did that, and this is very interesting. I do believe that this happened, oh my lord, it was a Thursday, last Thursday. I believe it was last Thursday, yeah. Last Thursday or last Friday? One of those days he was under oath. It was first thing in the morning. I caught a little bit of it, and it's like, I can understand why people get put under his spell when they're in person with him. He's a very eloquent talker. Now, he definitely knows how to work a room. I don't necessarily know any of his presence when he's in the room. From all of the different video and pictures that you see taken whenever world leaders get together, he's never exactly the centerpiece of anything, but could he be one of those guys that kind of lurks in the shadows and pulls the strings? I don't think he has the stomach for it. I think he's just more of a theater kid at heart, and he's enjoying being the prime minister, but not carrying out any of the responsibility of being the prime minister. He just wanted to create a legacy off the back of his father, which was sus to begin with. So I think we're starting to see that play out. It's just tough. It's just tough because we're not going to be able to vote him out because the NDP is still going to NDP at the end of the day until at least 2024. We're not going to get another shot at this, but hey man, whatever. We'll at least I'll be here documenting this fucking nonsense. How about that? Can we call that fair? Great. On the final day of the Emergencies Act inquiry, it's just like a House committee meeting or a Senate committee meeting, okay, in the United States. Same thing up here. Nothing ultimately is going to end up happening. All they can do is just, wring some wrists going, oh my God, did you see that they unconstitutionally used the Emergencies Act? You know what we're going to do after this? Absolutely fucking nothing, because that's basically all you can do. This will be a great campaign point if there was an election right around the corner, but there's not, and it's just going to fade into the background, and there'll be a new scandal to come across Justin Trudeau's desk, and everybody will forget about this one. We'll just continue to move on in perpetuity. This is the way this shit goes. Not being blackpilled about it. It's just, that's the way shit is. It's like, he is the boy king, okay? He can do no wrong, and he only needs to win 40% of the vote, and then he ends up getting, head of the minority government table. So what the fuck ever, right? Prime Minister was questioned on Friday by Eva Kipakiwik, a lawyer representing the Freedom Convoy organizers about statements he made regarding the unvaccinated and the way he described them. I remember this press conference. This was in Ontario with a lake in the background, I do believe, when he was questioned about this stuff. Like, I remember him making these statements, but if he just goes, I just don't recall that. A number of people have testified in this inquiry referencing your widely published comments calling unvaccinated racists and misogynists. Trudeau was informed, and I had his memory recollected That's nice. Prime Minister is then asked, would you agree with me that one of the most important roles of a Prime Minister is to unite Canadians and not divide them by engaging in name-calling? Bruh. Oh my god, my feelings though. Fuck off. His response under oath is a flat-out lie. I did not call people who are unvaccinated names. Of course he didn't. I could just, weasel my way through this in order to justify it. I just what's the justification? He goes on to defend his statement by arguing that he is, in fact, highlighted. There is a difference between people who are hesitant to get vaccinated for any range of reasons and people who deliberately spread misinformation that puts at risk that life and health of their fellow Canadians. Of course, in which they want to commit government sanctioned seppuku, but that's another video for, in the near future. My focus, every step of the way, and the primary responsibility of a Prime Minister is to keep Canadians safe and alive. Because I deal in feelings and emotion, not in facts, reason, logic, or rationality. Fuck that. Because a Prime Minister is not supposed to be somebody that maintains stability and order in the economy, maintains the national borders or anything like that, engages in trade discussions with other nations. No, he's here to make sure that Canadians feel good about things, you fucking asshole. God damn it, I hate this guy. In an interview on a French language talk show, La Semaine, on the 4th of July, whatever, on September 17th, 2021, Trudeau does exactly that. I remember one just right before the Freedom Convoy, but okay, cool. I guess we got some older ones. There are, also people who are fiercely opposed to vaccines. Yeah, I can think of several religious groups, and then other people, it's like, 99.8% survivability rate. I'm cool, man. I'm fine. It's like, okay, cool. Well, you can't participate in public life or private life. We're going to monitor how many people come in and out of your house, and then at the same time, yeah, you can't go to work either. That sucks. But Trudeau told host Julie Snyder, who don't believe in science and are often misogynists, often also racist. See the way that he words this stuff? Like, you can't pin him directly down. I would have just got him on that. There is a small fringe minority of people with unacceptable views. You could have just pinned him down on that and drilled down on that line of questioning and watch him fucking mentally tap dance on that fucking table. But no, you didn't. You just tried to go for the big ists and ohs. Oh, you call people names. Well, no, I didn't. And see, you can pull up the script right there if that's the interview that you're referencing. He says that they're often misogynist and often racist. That's just like some of those fucking brainlets that are out there, okay? The one that Joe Rogan likes to call up, I forget, one of his black friends or something like that. I got a friend. It's like, we know, Joe. We know. But he'll always bring up, one of my friends likes to say, not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. It's like, do you not understand that racism of all colors and creeds are on the table whenever you say racism, and that state-sanctioned racism at this point is exclusively the domain of shitting on white people? No, yeah, exactly. But again, that's the line of logic the likes of Justin Trudeau like to use. See, I didn't directly call anybody anything. I just alluded to it vaguely. But I don't know if they got to anything of substance there, because I don't really care what he has to say about anybody or anything, really. Because if he was a numbers guy and he was running the country fine and he was still a bit of a fucking nut job, yeah, you would actively campaign and endorse better candidates, but you would be fine if he was doing a good job with the environment. Fuck the environment. That's another one of his pet projects, because I can't really name anything, can't really quantify what exactly we're doing about this, but it makes my base feel good. So we're just going to go ahead and run with that. That's this motherfucker's raison d'etre. There we go. Use a little fucking frog speak. But it's funny. It's very funny, because check this out as well. Another line of questioning. Trudeau says protesting to demand policy change is worrisome. Funny. What other types of protests were happening about the past couple of years here? So at the beginning of the year, we had the trucker protest. Obviously, terribly bad. Okay, there was a whole bunch of people down there. We wouldn't like any of that stuff. So what was happening during, like, summer of 2020? Okay, the ones that you were down there, tacitly giving the thumbs up to, because, change, man, that's super important. We need to have all of these conversations, blah, 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 blah. Another one of these issues where it's, okay, cool. It's all right when we do it, but when you guys do it, oh, that's bad, and that's a hateful gathering that you got there, full of some people that might be potentially misogynist adjacent. Fucker. Now, Trudeau said on Friday that protests should not be used to change public policy. No, if you want to protest, you protest at home by yourself so we don't have to see it. Although he provided an example of when it's okay to protest to change public policy. This motherfucker right here. But nothing's going to happen to him. All you can do is just laugh. Prime Minister made comments while being questioned by the Emergencies Act inquiry. Why is there so many women on this panel? It's like, are you trying to trigger something like his internalized rage against women and how terribly he likes to treat them? Because that one's actually documented, okay? Like, he loves to fire a bitch. So is that like a strategy there? Trudeau said that he did not want to set any bad precedents. Sorry, we got to talk about a bad president here in a minute, but this is a bad precedent he doesn't want to have set by legitimizing the Freedom Convoy, which paralyzed much of Ottawa City Core for weeks in January and February this year until he decided to roll out the panzers. Trudeau said that the protesters' demands were non-starters. Like what? Dropping the vaccine mandate that you ended up dropping not that long afterwards? Weird. Saying that those in the capital wanted to overturn election results. Bruh. What elections? What the fuck are you even talking about? Some of their asks are non-starters, like overturning the results of an election we just had. Nobody was calling for that. Okay, you're gaslighting. You're lying. Stop lying. They wanted you gone. That was asking for you to step down. There was no overturning anything, you fucking liar, dude. In terms of responding to demanding or legitimizing them by engaging, they're too stupid to understand my childish rhetoric, the tone and tenor that I speak down to everybody with. No, we can't engage with them. They're dangerous hillbillies. Send them back to their fucking farm somewhere. I'm worried about setting a precedent that setting a blockade on Wellington Street can lead to a change of public policy. People need to be heard, but we need to get that balance right. And who decides what the balance is and who gets it right? Oh, you. I understand. I don't want to set any bad precedents, he added. Well, that's nice, because there's one that's written down in the the Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms that says there's a right to assembly that you can suspend at any time. So that's who you want in charge of that stuff. You would just like to get rid of that little dinner napkin that your father signed into legislation. That'd be great now, wouldn't it? You'd like to take after your actual father, not your stepdad cuck father. I understand. Trudeau said that the protest should be used to get messages out there. Yeah, no, exactly. We want to have a conversation without actually ever following up and having the conversation, making anything change, okay? You just always want to make people feel good. Oh my God, we're going to talk about this someday. And then when someday comes, you'll have to get a rain check on that and, just come back another day, okay? I'm busy today. But racism is still out there. You go get them, champ, and slap them on the ass and send them on their way. I think we have a robust, functioning democracy. Public protests are an important part of making sure that we're getting messages out there, and Canadians are getting messages out there and highlighting how we feel on various issues. There it is, feels again. What the fuck did he say in those two statements? Okay, we need to have people get out there so that they get out there and that they say the things that we should be saying, and saying is good things because people feel that we should be getting out there. This fucking 30 IQ asshole. Using protests to demand changes to public policy is something that I think is worrisome, because I set the fucking public policy, and if you don't like it, go fuck your mother. And if not, I'll have her locked up. Although, he added, oh, here we go, because he needs to make sure that he gets that Soros money, and he likes to have a good fucking violent protest every once in a while. If you're out protesting that the government is shutting down safe injection sites or something, who's doing that, you scarecrow erecting faggot? You're asking for changes in public policy, but there's a difference between occupations and saying we're not going until this changed in a way that is massively disrupting. So what is massively disrupting? 2 streets? 1 street? 3 streets? 8 streets? Like, come on. But you're not going to pin him down on any of this stuff. I'm sure the line of questioning was like, thanks for coming down here, Mr. Prime Minister. Could you please answer a couple of questions? We won't hold you up any further. Thanks for coming down. Oh, versus, here's the government approved line of protesting. All right. Versus just saying we're protesting because we want public policy to change and we're trying to convince people and get enough of them that the politicians will listen, and I'm going to lose votes unless I change this. Fucking bruh. How many people were down there in the Freedom Convoy, and then especially on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and parts of Sunday? There were how many thousands of people? And then even during the week, how many thousands more continued to stay there? It's so fucking wild. It's okay when I say it's okay, but when it's not, I'll just call in my fucking Stasi. How about that? He's a strong dude until dad calls. Biden demanded Trudeau end the Freedom Convoy over fears of U.S. car plant closures. Listen, Jack, it's gonna affect my bottom line. My ice cream cone's melting, and I don't like that. I get the brain freeze when I gotta take big licks, you know what I mean? Probably said, well, thanks for talking, Pierre, and then hung up on him, and then just went and stared out the window and hoped some kids would arrive outside, and fucking retard. Anyways, it was revealed that just 3 days before invoking the Emergencies Act, wow, what an independent thought leader our own very Prime Minister is, to shut down the Freedom Convoy protest, President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau had a conversation wherein the president described the blockades as a shared problem. It's like, well, we got nukes, and he's like, we probably shouldn't go that far, and demanded that they shut it down. According to the Daily Mail, the two leaders reportedly spoke about the possibility of money, people, and political/media support for the United States during their conversation. There it is. I just did something not that long ago. I'm not entirely sure when that video comes out, but I made the statement that the Biden administration, because that's what I was focusing on in this specific video. So I'll wait for that argument in fuller detail somewhere down the line. But all the people that are staffed at these different places, they are slaves to social media algorithms by social media validation. It's appearances over substance. And you could just go ahead and apply that to so many other politicians around the world. Not just Trudeau. You can go all throughout Europe, okay? That's the exact same shit that is going on there. They don't actually care about accomplishing anything, okay? They just want to stay relevant in the algorithm. They just want to get likes and retweets. They just want to get shares out there. And have people talking about, you know, that fucking moron's new haircut. Oh my god, he looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. Isn't he stupid? And yeah, people in the greater Toronto area don't give a fuck and continue to vote for him and re-elect him. He's a terrible human being. He's a fundamental liar. He is rotten to the core. He's going to be here for a couple more years, so fucking enjoy the decline, my friends. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.